out in the fields, lovely, sheep are bleating, birds are singing. There are going to be tricky questions though if you, as a farmer, invite the public onto your land. And of course, one of them is, and there's an awful lot in the press about how farmers are killing bees, farmers are killing birds, and the effect on the wildlife. How would you go about answering those sort of questions?
I think it's important. You start from the framework of honesty and truth, and you describe your farming activities in how it happens during the year. Now, in terms of majority of arable farmers, they're producing broadacre crops, and that's on a large scale. We often hear it referred to as an industrial scale. It's just conventional agriculture. Birds are an interesting one because they're actually susceptible and affected by lots of other external factors that are not just to do with farming. So building on land for distribution centres, loss of land, loss of resources. So we tend to think about describing the relationship of farming and biodiversity in terms of how can farming provide resources for farmland birds, for pollinators, how can it protect soil, how can it protect water, and there are a few things that farmers do and do very well. Sometimes in some areas where there's been a bigger decline of species for a range of factors, more needs to be done, but people are doing it. So it's a fact of not saying, yeah, we're doing as much as we can. I think there's always a way of looking for a few other things, getting evidence, getting the local people involved, getting specialists or scientist groups to actually come and give you some evidence and data about your farm. So you may be thinking that you need to be doing something for birds, but actually you're okay. It's maybe you need to do a bit more for pollinators, but do something you can manage. A lot of people might try and get too complicated, and it's all about quality. So we tend to think of it as the right activity in the right place, at the right scale, but above all at the right quality. Treat the environment like you're treating your crops, and everything will develop. And you need to share that relationship, that level of activity that you do with the public. They need to know that you care about as much in the environment and how you deliver for it as you do for your farm crops.